Not from the scrotum.
No.
Scrotums.
That's gonna be stuck in your head at least for a while. It's the scrotums.
Sounds like a German candy that looks suspiciously like testicles.
Right. Or exactly like
Yeah,
it's chocolate balls.
Scrotums.
With like the ridges and stuff, so yeah. So it's unmistakably not anything else.
It's not the lunar surface.
Why
Right.
you with a packet of my chocolate scrotums?
Yes.
No.
No.
9?
Stop. Yes. Schnell.
Yeah.
Good.
MotherFan Dan does German. Does this episode in German.
Scrotums.
This is HIMYM Superfans. Hey there, Chris Venezia.
Hello, James Hamilton.
Hello there, MotherFan Dan.
Howdy.
Thanks for joining us. This is the podcast where we talk about the CBS comedy How I Met Your Mother.
And we only have this episode and one more to ruin this show for you.
Yep, and we are going to spoil plot points not only for Season 2, but the entire series. Tonight we're watching Something Borrowed, a.k.a. Cool Guy Tips.
Are they cool? If it's not your wedding and you're in your early 20s and you're going to a concert?
And you have a hemp necklace,
Yeah.
not a tuxedo.
You're not Marshall.
Yeah. Although, maybe a certain, Amsterdam Marshall might have Cool Guy Tips, but he
maybe.
came back with...
The float on through, brother.
Yeah, throw it on through, brother. Hashtag at Doug Benson.
It was a miracle.
Miracle.
It's not a miracle.
Stone
Stone Guy's shift change.
Friends did that. And Monica's vacation hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw that out there.
Wait, is the one where she had, like, the braids? Which one was the thing you were talking about?
Well, then she got all the little trinkets, and then she'd whip her hair around, and it slapped her in the face.
I think that hairstyle has been played for laughs in a lot of shows, because I remember in the It's Always Sunny episode, and of course they took it to the gross extreme where a piece of scalp was removed as a consequence of that hairdo.
Ah, yeah, that is gross.
Yeah.
Actually, in a couple episodes in season 3, Robin comes back from wherever she goes.
Argentina.
And meets, Gael. And she comes back with the braids.
Yeah.
And a guy.
Yeah, Gael.
Braids and a guy, yes.
Gay.
Gail?
Gail?
Girl?
Girl? Gail?
Yeah.
Americans are insensitive.
That episode was really Ted defensive.
Oh yeah,
That was heightened Ted defensive-ness.
Yeah, the bros had to help him out.
Circled the wagons.
Yeah, exactly.
Spray testosterone around.
Yes, yeah, they did. Even Barney did that.
Yeah. It originally aired May 7th, 2007, directed by our good friend Pamela Fryman.
So what is she in trouble for this week?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay. We're going to give her a week off for good behavior?
Absolutely nothing. There's no proof that Pam Fryman murdered a girl in 1997. There is no proof that Pam Fryman murdered a girl in 1997.
Well,
Is there anyone asking that?
That has so little to do with this episode. Arguably nothing. I'm willing to give you very little. That's as far as I can go. Oh, good Lord.
Off the rails.
Yeah. Yep.
From the start.
We gotta get it back. Guest stars?
Okay. This episode features David Burka, of course, Neil Patrick Harris's real-life partner, and he's returning, but this is the first time we see present-day Scooter.
Yes. Scooty Puff Jr.
Mm-hmm. He's the best-looking lunch lady ever.
Yeah.
Could look more like Kurt Cobain.
Could look more like Kurt Cobain. Well, he was going to go to umpire school. I wonder if that worked out for him.
I don't think it did.
Okay.
I don't think there was much of a future in that. But who knows?
If you're not sure, then you can just skip that
and
one.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, yes. Removes part of his shirt
Joe Manganiello.
in this episode is to remind you that he has the perfect body.
Yes.
In case you forgot.
Yep.
Since we just saw him in Bachelor Party, and he also didn't have his shirt in that episode.
Yeah, I feel like there's a missing episode in the Marshall-Brad arc of this season.
So in World's Greatest Couple, they have a falling out because Brad sort of dumps Marshall for Kara. And then they have that clip at the end of the episode where, like, sometime later...
Right. Ted,
yes, tells Marshall, they run into Ted. Yeah, Ted and Marshall run into him, and then Ted tells Marshall that Brad got fat.
Right.
Which is, of course, ridiculous.
Yes.
He's an Adonis.
Yes.
And sometime between that episode in this season, episode 5, and Bachelor Party, episode 19, they met up again, and maybe they hashed it out, or
they talked it out over some eggs Benny.
Or just was like, sup, and then they just realized that it was water under the bridge.
Right.
They didn't have to have the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a missing story there, and I would have watched that episode. The problem is there's not an episode, maybe columns. Yeah, okay. They could have done that instead of columns.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't think there's an episode that I would have liked to skip. No, columns. That would have been fine.
You would lose Breaking Bad Cranston, but
yeah, and he was pretty funny in that.
But that's the only thing I think really that and Barney's and New Dart.
Yeah, New Dart. Yes, the Barnana. Yeah. I'm not saying it was a terrible episode. It was probably didn't add.
I think we called it. I call it the weakest of season 2.
It was my favorite episode ever of television.
Well, thanks for your input.
Nice transitional thumbnail.
Get that screen cap.
Yeah, that's
we should. We're talking about the thumbnail on Netflix when you first play the episode of Jason Segel with a line cut out of his hair, giving a crazy eye scream.
So we have not heard much about this wedding, and some things obviously would change since they canceled their first one, and then tried to elope in Atlantic City, and then canceled that on the water. And now we get to see the place they picked out. I don't think it's Van Smoot, because they would have lost the reservation on that one and probably wouldn't have gotten it again.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's Van Smoot or not, and I agree that they don't say as much about this wedding. It's not as much a part of this season, and that's a great way to not have the upcoming wedding be as big of a part of your season as it should be, is to have one planned, cancel it, and then plan another one when they get back together, and then just like sort of be like, well, we had a lot of stuff already ready to go that we could move the date for.
Right.
And
that way they get to, tell their wedding stories in the first season, and then they get to maybe cover some more ground that they didn't get to in the second season.
They also do stuff later episodes, like flashback to like what it was like leading up to the wedding that we didn't see in this season. It would have occurred in the season, but they didn't. But like when Lily's talking about how she didn't go crazy at all before the wedding, and then like Marshall like flashes back to like remembering what it was like being with Lily like before the wedding, and at certain points he was just tuning her out.
Yeah.
Because the things that she was upset about weren't important at all, and so they just have Alyson being like icky icky wiki wiki way because the words don't matter, and that's what Marshall remembers, and I always love that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about this show is they can take some liberties with the reality, and because they can all play it from that's from the perspective of the individual, in that case Marshall, but ultimately of Ted.
Right, Ted telling his kids about the time Marshall was talking about the time Lily was whining about something about the upcoming wedding.
Right. And some of it might be complete fiction.
probably much fiction. Of it. So in this episode, the harp player can possibly not play the harp because she's too pregnant.
Yeah, you can only reach a couple of the strings. But this episode, sort of in sitcom fashion, in the finale episode of season 2, they changed the setting, so we get to see all sorts of new, interesting shapes and colors on the screen because it's a completely new environment.
Yeah,
which is a little jarring, kind of ups the ante a little for the end of your season.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah,
you didn't spend all of your budget.
Right. I mean, you already had a wedding in the first season, so let's bring that back and show a little bit more now. And it's even evident in the characters' clothing. Even Barney is wearing a particularly tight and very dark black suit.
Yeah.
Usually wears something a little more loose and gray or blue.
Yeah, it does. It's an interesting observation. But this is where Neil and David are on screen together, which is fun. But yeah, Bill is Scooter.
Bill.
Oh, she even mentions the umpire school.
Yes.
He failed at umpire school though.
Yeah.
So Dan, what do you think the career path is for somebody to become an umpire?
I have always wondered about that. The only thing I know about it is from the show. And I've only learned that it's failure. It's a really hard... I mean, they only take the best of the best, right?
I mean, yeah.
Umpires, I mean, obviously.
That's
it's like it's the most important job in the world to be the best umpire for baseball.
Well, obviously it scales
for the fans. I mean, if you're going to ask a fan,
I mean, for the umpire
yes.
as well, you need to be the best of the best because the fans will kill you if you're bad.
Yeah, or at least threaten it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the stakes. Obviously, your local adult league doesn't matter as much as the World Series of American baseball.
No, I think it matters more on the lower levels. If it's Little League, you need to be the best of the best because those are the guys that will kill you.
Like
they know
parents,
where you live.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they know who you are. Yeah.
Oh, and many of them own rifles.
Right. And you're not high enough level to have your own sort of security guards or Secret Service. I mean, I would think that...
Well, at the Little League World Series of American Baseball, they do have the Secret Service on... they do have the Cub Scouts on duty.
The Cub Scouts to protect the umpires?
To protect the Little Leaguers.
Oh, see, they need someone to protect the umpires. The umpires are the ones they're in the most danger.
I think they were going with a force multiplier thing of army of children. One good at strategy, one good at tactics. Anyway, that was off the rails.
Yeah. I was just going to let you guys go for as long as that went. I was like, all right.
That's a nice rabbit hole.
It's screwed them.
So, couple things that have happened.
What is Barney doing?
Barney, he is having fun because he doesn't really care for weddings or marriage. So he's going to have as much fun with it as possible.
Yeah.
So he figures out it's for the bride thing.
Yeah.
And he uses it as an excuse to get as much alcohol from the bartender as he can. But then he comes up with the even better play, which is convince him to leave the bar to go get something else and just go make your own drink.
Oh, yeah. Just loot it.
So also they've got Brad Brad.
Manello.
He just flashed a sweet camera phone. It's pretty outdated.
Yeah.
Was it fucking Razor?
No.
I think it was. It was not. It was. Yeah. It was like a Razor adjacent. Yeah. There's Lily's mom.
Yeah. The second and final appearance of Lily's mom, maybe.
Oh yeah, the harpist. Her water breaks, but she's gonna continue to play the harp. She's a trooper. She'll just have to take a break every 4 to 8 minutes. Or every 8 minutes, and then when it gets down to 4, then she has to leave. I think that's how that works.
Depends on her dilation.
But yeah. But yeah.
I'm
Scooter.
mostly working at abortion, so.
Scooter shows up, and Brad's job is to kick him out of the wedding. Loses track of who Scooter is.
Yeah.
Loses track of his face. And then throws out the photographer.
Two of the most very important things was who he was and eject him. And he forgot the first part.
Yes. Definitely remembered the second part, though.
Yes.
He ejected someone.
Unfortunately, it was the photographer.
I actually like this episode because it ends up sort of being the perfect wedding because the two people getting married realize that there's no such thing. Like at the very end, or like Marshall's got his line through his hair, and Liz like, well, that's not so bad. And then like she kisses him, and he's like, did you smoke?
Yeah.
Yes. No. But yeah, it's like it's gotten so bad though at this point that Lily and Robin want to have a cigarette.
Yeah. Both of them secret occasional smokers.
Yeah.
So we'll learn in season 4 episode Last Cigarette Ever.
So here's the blonde tips. You said these are cool guy tips.
Cool guy tips. Some real cool guy tips.
It seems like a tip that you would get from a cool guy. Like, hey, cool guy, you got a tip for me? I do. Don't get your hair done like this.
Pizzas are half off on Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Wow,
Thanks,
that's a
cool
cool
guy.
tip. The bus is free on Sunday.
That is a good tip.
Is that a good tip? Is that a cool tip?
Or if it's a cool guy,
just put your sunglasses in your pocket inside.
I'd be worried about crushing them. I was going to make just the tip joke, but I think I'm just going to say now that I was going to make that, and then we can just move on. I don't know. Couldn't he re-dye it really quickly?
That would be my first thought.
Okay. I'm glad. MotherFan Dan.
Even like Halloween makeup. It's got to even if
brown shoe polish.
If I couldn't convince someone to drive to the store on my wedding day for me, it's for the groom.
Yeah, it's for the groom. Yeah.
Nope. The only answer is to shave the reverse mohawk.
The reverse mohawk. Yeah. I guess the other problem is that as far as reverse mohawks
go, his hair is stuck to his shoulder.
It is stuck to his shoulder.
Amazing.
I'm pretty sure he legit did that unless he's wearing like a bald thing under fake hair. But I'm pretty sure he just shaved some hair, whether it was his or not.
It's a little too clean.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I love this scene.
Uncle Ben.
Reluctant hairpiece guy.
Yes. Oh man, it doesn't even match.
I'd like to believe that it's actually his hair.
Oh, and Ted's making a mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, gosh,
your hair is really bad. Like, why would you? Yeah, that's a tough one. No, but that's not really how genetics works.
I don't.
Yeah, but we haven't.
What are genetics?
We haven't seen your scrotum though.
That'll be for the after
I
show.
don't know.
The extra
scrotum.
The scrotum.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the scrotum.
You've shown scrotum.
Your scrotum, your penis.
No, it just broke my heart that guy. It was actually a hairpiece.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be his actual hair, and it just looked bad.
That's just what it does in the back.
Yeah.
I just have a triangle that's missing on the back of my head.
He doesn't know that
he doesn't look at the
looks
back
like
of his
he's
head
wearing.
very often, yeah. And it's extra sad because they took it and they're not going to use it.
Right. And what is he going to give it back?
No, he throws it on the ground.
Yeah.
Threw it on the ground. That's not my hair. That's...
So Brad spilled sauce on himself. That's why he takes the shirt off. Are you going to put it on another one? No, I'm good.
You should at least put on a tie.
Yes.
Yeah. It's for a wedding.
It's not better. It actually draws just as much attention, if not possibly a hair more, than wearing a tie without the shirt.
Not a...
Chris, this is called a jib shot.
It is?
A jib shot.
What does that mean?
It's a piece of equipment called a jib.
Is any of this true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the cut of your jib.
Yes. Pam Fryman, the director, really loves the jib.
I've heard that about Pam Fryman and her love of the jib.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that.
Gives you so many more options.
I wish I knew what I was talking about.
So I want to mention this. The series, the American television series A to Z, which featured the mother. It aired briefly after How I Met Your Mother.
I remember all of this, yes.
It took place... I remember it being odd to me because there are a lot of scenes set outdoors. And this is the first time I can remember a scene in How I Met Your Mother outdoors, certainly in broad daylight in nature. We've seen them outdoors sort of in dusk or at night on the streets of New York and indoors a lot. But I've never seen them at a park before, and you don't typically see this kind of environment in a good old, campy sitcom.
I'm not sure that they're outside.
I think that's a green screen.
Really?
I am almost positive that they are not outside.
I'm fooled.
It's done well.
The thing is, the trees look super fake.
Well, everything's in focus. And for their backgrounds, yeah, it's...
But there are details and errors in the landscaping that you wouldn't put in. Well, I guess I'm not. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks like green screen.
But the lighting.
Yeah, I know, but it's a guy like that. But the lighting.
Yeah, but still.
But even so.
Well, right. If they make it look like it's outside.
Well, I guess they're convincing enough in that they have someone off screen gently blowing, and they're not blowing the hair.
No. Oh no, they are.
Yes. So the hair blowing and the lighting convinced me. And along with this shot, it sort of adds some depth, but I guess it could be a really deep...
The shot when Marshall has his back to, when he's facing the camera, that's when it looks the fakest to me. It's like when Marshall, you see his suit, that shot in contrast to the background.
So maybe
it look fake.
Maybe some a set extension CGI.
Yeah, could be. That could be a fake tree that they are standing right next to, and then other naturey things in the background are the green screen.
We'll have to weigh in or ask the audience
We'll have
to look it up for us.
Can I phone a friend?
We'll have to ask our only Facebook friend to ever comment on anything. Brett.
Yes,
Brett, weigh in.
What do you think? I'm reasonably sure you listen to it, actually.
Mary listens to it too.
No, yeah. Thank you, Mary.
She just listened to one the other day, the one that you just posted.
Oh, good. She's keeping up to date.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's at least 2 people.
Yes.
It's okay. I don't even listen to it.
Yeah.
I did say once that we have literally tens of fans.
Yes. There are dozens of us. Dozens.
Quick cut stock backgrounds. I mean, now we're talking about this too much, but
we have barely talked about this episode, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. But
you said you wanted to do it again next week anyway.
Well, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and yet very little, because it is a sitcom wedding episode, and wacky shit goes wrong, and at the end they have the miracle that they want. And I mean, I feel like it's kind of tropey. That's why I asked you, like, what sort of Friends episodes did this before? What sort of Big Bang episodes were like this before? What sort of Scrubs episodes? Or Parks and Rec? Seinfeld never had a wedding. Well,
no.
They never had, none of the four got
Yeah,
married.
if they went to a wedding, something terrible happened at the wedding and it was their fault.
Yes, they fucked up someone else's wedding.
Kind of like a punchy thing.
Yeah.
Which Marshall shouldn't have been invited to that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, none of the rest of them.
Unless he was Ted's +1.
Right. Like, the people that, he greeted with sup turds, he invited to his wedding.
Sup turds!
But, this episode, I mean, the things that are sitcom-y, the hair shaving, I don't think I've seen that before, where it's like, what could go wrong? Like, groom loses his mind for a moment.
Look at the shadow.
No, that's all CG.
You guys are fucking with me, right?
Well, that last one I wasn't looking at, and I don't know.
Alright. Yeah.
Yes, it is! The end of the episode is Lily and Marshall want to do it in the bathroom because they can't wait to get to their hotel room, but Ted is there.
Taking
so he would
a
have
dump.
been. Yes, he would have been there for that first also.
Their first fuck as a married couple.
I like
In
that
the
you debated on that for at least a whole Mississippi before you decided to go ahead and let it fly.
Their first bang out in the toilet bang. Their first toilet bang as a married couple.
As a married couple, because we know they've done that before too.
Yes.
Possibly just hand stuff.
Well, I don't know. She did say, she said unzip the rest of your pants, but you're right. Could just been hand stuff. Anyway, so join us next week for Something Blue. That's the follow-up, obviously. We got the wedding in this episode. Or not really. We got all the things that went wrong, and then the quickie wedding that they wanted, and then the fast-forward through the actual wedding that was, boring and not memorable, I guess, in Ted's eyes.
Well, that's what we're going to see in Something Blue is what happened at the third wedding. Because they had the first wedding on the boat, their second wedding by a CGI tree, and then their third wedding inside some church, and we get to watch that next week before they go on their honeymoon to go see the creature at Loch Ness.
Right. And, of course, the next episode ties into, what is it, Showdown? Was it Showdown? It's revealed that Ted and Robin are broken up.
Yes, yeah. Just to get to see them share a moment during the tree wedding where they're looking at each other and Robin's crying. Because, she does kind of like the idea of being married, and she did just break up with Ted, and it's a little sad, it's a little emotional, and all that. So, we get to find out that they're broken up at the end of the next episode before it goes on into season 3, where Barney finishes his sentence. Remember that one? Where, like the end of season
Wait
2.
for it.
Yeah. And then you have to wait the whole summer.
And we did.
Dairy.
Hope you're not lactose intolerant.
This is going to take a while. So yeah, join us next week.
Threw it on the ground.